Hello, this is Alejandro with GSC, and today we're going to learn how to create custom first article inspection Excel templates for SOLIDWORKS Inspection. So the first thing you're going to want to do is here I have my first article inspection Excel sheet, as you can see here. And what I'm going to have to do first is I'm going to have to save this as in an Excel template format. Right now, this .xlsx, that is not an Excel template format. You need to have it in an Excel template format in order to be able to use it with the SOLIDWORKS Inspection software. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, and I'm just going to save this to my desktop. And here you can see it's previously it was in an Excel workbook format that we will not be able to use. We will need to convert this over into an Excel template format, which is .xlt. And you can see here the location change. So I want to save it in the desktop. And if I close this out, you'll see on my desktop, I now have an Excel template document. So now I'm going to go into my inspection software. Here you can see I already have an inspection project open. It's already fully ballooned and has all the characteristics captured and for table of characteristic information filled in. I'll use this later on to test out my template. I'm going to go to File, and this is where I'm going to be able to launch the template editor. When I launch the template editor, it's going to ask me to select an Excel template file. Here you can see the templates that I have already created. Since I'm creating a new one, I'm going to use that GSC FAIR Excel template I just created. And you can see Excel launches, as well as I have this SOLIDWORKS Inspection Template Editor window. And what this is going to allow me to do is going to allow me to add tokens, which are essentially placeholders that tell inspection where to place information from your inspection project into your first article inspection Excel sheet. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a location for the part number. So here this is going to be a project property token. I'll select the cell and I'll click Insert. And you can see here it adds the token, which essentially is this very long expression that you don't want to have to type in yourself, which is why we have this inspection template editor window that allows us to add the tokens very easily. Next, for part name, I'll pre-select the cell and I'll add the part name token. And you can see which token got added. Usually at the very end of the token expression, you'll see what you added, in this case part name. Here you can see part number. Next, I'll add the contract number. As well as the FAI report number. Next, we're going to add a token for our characteristic numbers. So this, instead of being under project property token, this should be under characteristic token. And we'll put characteristic number. And I'll pre-select the cell, click Insert. Reference location, so what's the zone location? This once again is a characteristic token and it's called full balloon location. Click Insert. Characteristic designator, so what are the units? So here we'll put units. Actually, we'll put yeah, we'll leave units. That's fine. For requirement, this is going to be our nominal dimension. So this will be nominal value. I'm going to pick GD&T font. That way, if I have any GD&T callouts, it comes in with the feature frame instead of an image. Next, design tooling and gauging. I'm going to add in the inspection method. So how this dimension is supposed to be measured. So this is going to be under inspection method. And then I'll select finish. And you can save this anywhere. I'll just save this to my desktop. And I'm going to save over the old template file. Yes, I'll override it. And let's go ahead and test out our template. So here I have a previously made inspection project open. So let's go ahead and export our information into our Excel template. So here you can see on the left side all the templates that I've already added. In this case, since we create a new one, we're going to have to add it to our list. So we'll hit the little plus sign. This one is located in our desktop. I'll go ahead and select it. And now you can see it's in my templates list. I'll go ahead and click it and hit export. And I'll save this Excel sheet in my desktop as well. And here is my first article inspection Excel report with all the captured characteristic information. Here you can see the chart numbers were brought in, the reference location, the units, the nominal dimensions or notes, as well as the inspection method. Here we only have one, which is to use digital calipers. One thing you'll notice on the very bottom of our Excel spreadsheet is that where the signature page is, since we have more characteristics than what our Excel template had for rows, it actually just continued to add characteristics and doesn't look very nice. So next, I'm going to show you how you can modify your first article inspection templates so that you only have a certain amount of characteristics per sheet. In this case, we're going to create a template that only allows for 10 characteristics per sheet. So I'm going to exit out of this Excel sheet. I'm going to go back into the template editor. I'll open up that template that we just created. And for Form 3, we're going to leave it as is. So Form 3 will contain all the characteristics possible. In this case, we're going to create a copy of it so we don't have to add the tokens as well as our Excel data. I'll move this sheet over. I'm going to go ahead and rename it. I'll call it Form 3, 1 of 3. And for this sheet, it's only going to add 10 characteristics. That way, it doesn't run over our signature section, as well as we don't have one long first article inspection sheet. So we only have to modify the tokens that will require multiple cells. So our characteristic number is going to be one that we're going to want to modify. And the way we modify this is we click the cell in the formula bar right in front of attribute. We're going to type in some additional information. So we'll put a bracket in there. We'll type in at UID. We'll put a less than sign, single quotation mark, 11, single quotation mark, and then another bracket. And what this is essentially saying is it's only going to allow characteristics less than 11 to be added. So essentially it's only going to allow you to add 10 characteristics. And I'm going to repeat this for the other cells. So bracket at UID less than single quotation mark 11 single quotation mark and then close bracket. And I could probably copy and paste this. That way I don't have to keep typing that in over and over again. So I'll do it for the unit of measure token. I'll do it for the nominal dimension token, as well as for the inspection method token. I do not have to add this to part number, part name, contract number, or FAI report tokens because they only require one cell. So I don't have to worry about running out of rows for these. I'll go ahead and click finish. And I'll save over my old template. And let's go ahead and test this out. So hit Excel. I'll export to my Excel template. I'll pick my template. I'll save over the old sheet that we created. And let's see that result. So here you can see in Form 3, you have all the characteristics are added. And unfortunately, it doesn't look very nice because we had more characteristics than rows available. But in Form 3.1 of 3, you'll see that only 10 characteristics were added. So this is very easy to see. I don't have one long sheet, as well as my signature section does not look out of format or hard to read. So I could do this for all, I could create additional sheets to add the rest of my characteristics. So that's going to be my next step. So I'll close my sheet and I'll go back to my template editor. And I'll select my template. And once again, I would create a copy of my sheet. So I'm just going to create a copy of Form 3. I'm going to rename it Form 3, 2 of 3. And then once again, I'm going to have to modify the tokens. But this time, because I want it to add characteristics 10 through 20, 10 through 20, I'm going to add a slightly different expression. So it's going to be bracket at UID greater than 10, and there's going to be 2 single quotation marks next to 10. And then I'm going to type in and at UID less than 21. And the 21 has to have single quotation marks as well. And then you have your closed bracket. So bracket at UID greater than 10 and at UID less than 21. So it's going to add characteristic numbers 10 through 20. And I want to copy this and add it to each one of my other tokens. And once again, add it right in front of attribute. So we'll do Control V. Do this once again for the unit of measure token. I'll do this for the nominal dimension token. I'll do this for the inspection method token. and I'll click finished. Sometimes I get that little warning. I'm just going to ignore it. If I just click another cell, it seems to let me go ahead and save over it. So I'm going to save over my old template. And let's go ahead and test it out. So I'll export out to my template. I'll save over the old sheet. And let's see the end result. So now, once again, Form 3 has all the characteristics added to it. Form 3 1 of 3 has only 10 characteristics, characteristics 1 through 10. And then Form 3 2 of 3 has characteristics 11 through 20. But notice how we need additional rows here. So there's 20.1, 20.2, and 20.4. So even though I've limited to 10 characteristics per page, sometimes I still need more rows. So next, I'm going to show you how to add a footer row that will allow my Excel template to create additional rows for characteristics, as well as move my signature section all the way to the bottom of my sheet. So I'll go ahead and close out my sheet and go back into the template editor. I'll select my template. And I'm going to add a footer row for each one of my sheets. That way, the Excel template will create additional rows if needed for my characteristics, as well as my signature section is always at the very bottom of my Excel sheet. So the way you add a footer row is you're going to select the first cell of your signature section, or the first row of the signature section. And then I'm going to go to Formulas, and I am going to select Define Name. And the name I'm going to type in is going to be IX footer row, and this is contact. You have to pay attention to what's capitalized and what's not. You want to type, this is case sensitive, so you want to type it in exactly as I have it shown here. And then I'm going to type 001, and the 001 relates to the sheet number. So this is my first sheet, so I type 001. I'll select OK. And I'm going to do the same for my second sheet. I'll select the first row of my signature page, of my signature section. Go to Define Name, and for name I'm going to type in IX footer row. Once again, it is case sensitive. And this time I'm going to type 002 because this is my second sheet. I'll type OK. And I'll do the same thing for Form 3. I'll pick the first row of my signature section, define name, IX footer row 003. Select OK. And we'll go ahead and save over our template. Let's go ahead and test this out once again. So I'll select my GSC FAIR template. I'll go ahead and export it out. I'll save over my old worksheet. And let's see the end result. If I go to Form 3, you can see now that the signature section is at the very bottom, and additional rows were created with the same format for each one of my characteristics. If I go to Form 3 1 of 3, you'll see that I only have 10 characteristics, and the signature page is at the very bottom. And if I go Form 3 2 of 3, which remember previously had an issue, here we have characteristic 11 all the way to characteristic 20. And because characteristic 20 had several sub characteristics, 20.1, 20.2, 20.3, 20.4, I required additional rows, which my Excel template created, as well as my signature section is at the very bottom. Now I could go ahead and create go back into my template editor and create another sheet and follow the same steps. So that is how you can create a very nice formatted first article inspection template to work with your inspection software. One thing to keep in mind is that since inspection does have two formats, you have the add-in and you have inspection standalone. Each one of those will require or have their own template editor and require their own Excel template. So you cannot reuse this one for the add-in since this was created using the standalone template editor. But that is how you can create nice formatted inspection Excel templates. This has been Alejandro with GSC. Thank you for watching.